Welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, instructor for ANY 150. This is Module 3, and this is part, what are we at now? Part 8 of the high poly modeling. We got the corners all fixed, and all we need to do is go ahead and add an edge loop on the inside of this piece right here. Okay. Now at any time, I'm going to hit the Q key. At any time, you can move these edge loops away and create a thicker piece if you want to. You could do it by faces if you'd like. So if I click on my faces, which is easy to actually select all the faces pretty fast, you can see that's a really easy way of doing it. So you can see I've got all those faces. Now you can see just watching one swift move, I can add a lot of thickness to this piece if I want to, so I can add double the thickness to that piece, just like that, if I wanted to. So I might do that because it's hard to tell how thick these are. Let's take a look at what we got when we do this. Okay, so when we hit the 3 key and we go into our wireframe, get that off, there we go. So you can see that's a little too thick, so yeah, it looks pretty cool though. So half of that maybe. Okay, let's go back and hit the 1 key again, and you can see that we'll go ahead and move that just about half of what we had. Something like that would be good. Okay, alright, so that might be good. And hit the 3 key on that. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that from looking at the gun that thickness would work really well. Okay, so let's try that. That would be good. So let's go ahead and hit the 1 key on that and do the same for the rest of them. Okay, let's put on wireframe again. It helps us see things a little bit better. So hit the Q key, and then I'm going to click on one face, and this is the back faces here, and just double click, and it goes all the way around. So to click on one, we just want the back face, right? The back face and the inside faces right here. So if I get closer, this is what you can see. I click off, and it's really easy. Click on one face, hold the shift key down, double click on it, click on one face, hold the shift key, double click, select one face, hold the shift key down, double click, and then you can hit the W key and move it. So let's just kind of move it about as far as we did with the other one. Okay, try to keep it consistent, and then we'll do the last one here. Click on this guy, and we will click on one, hit the Q key, click on one, hold the shift key, click on one, hold the shift key, click on one, hold the shift key, hit the W key, and you can see you kind of move things in. So I think this is going to be our new normal right here as far as the thickness, and you can change the thickness at any time as you please. Well, that's the first part of it. We've got quite a few videos in. Unfortunately, it takes time to do these high poly panels. Let's hit the 3 key and click off here. Let's go into object mode, probably a good idea. There we go. Hit the 3 key, 3 key, and 3 keys. Let's look at all these pieces together without the wireframe on, and that's what we have so far. That looks pretty good. I like it. We don't need the back of it, obviously. Won't matter there at all. But those are the pieces. Looks pretty cool. Right. Okay, so now we got to work on the back piece. So we've got some of these pieces we need to create. We can create those by hand, and that piece there we can create by hand. The inside will be basically the inside of the low poly. So if I open up one of the low polys, I got to do Control 1 so we can see everything. You can see all those pieces go on top of the low poly will hide. Well, basically the low poly will show. We don't want to show all the way through. Okay, that would not be a good idea. But these pieces look good. It's like the armor on top of the objects. Okay, and then we can put that piece in there too as well. But we're getting there. Looking pretty good. I like that. Looks really good. Got a little piece here. Okay. Now, like I said, this has gotta fit within the low poly. So we've got some pieces sticking out, which we can fix that later. But right now, it's looking pretty good. I like that. Nice. All right. So we got the side done. The side pieces are all done. Now we need to work on these little pieces here. And cut those up and try to get all this done. And it sounds good. Let's go ahead and just knock it out. So I'm going to take these pieces that we just finished, okay, and make sure I don't select anything else. Just those pieces right there. And we're going to click on this guy right here, and we're going to call this high poly. Okay. It's not really high poly yet, but that's what we'll call it. High poly front. Okay. Let's save that. There we go. So this will actually help us bake the normal map for the low poly that we have here. Okay. So we got this piece all selected and ready to go. Whether you want to use this or not as a basic, we kind of do need to use this as a basic block out, and then we can make the pieces just like we did here with these guys. So I'm not going to really tell you how I'm basically going to do that. I mean, I'll show you, but I'm not going to go, oh, hold down the shift key and right click. You should know how to do that by now. Okay. So I'm just going to hopefully go a little faster this time. And now you know how I do things, how I model. You can take those techniques and use it in this area here. So I'm going to hopefully go a lot faster with this back portion, and you can always pause the video if I'm going too fast for you. Okay. So the low poly here, let's turn off our high poly. So we got a low poly, still pretty intact here. And what I want to do is I want to just focus on this part right here on the back. And there is a lot of detail in here. That is just part of the back. Let's go ahead and control 1 again with that. Okay, there we go. I think I moved it accidentally a little bit. So you can see all this detail in here that needs to be actually, we should try to at least try to get that in there. And we have kind of a piece that goes underneath here. So I'm just really focused on working on this outside piece, okay, and getting that completed. So we need to focus on that. So I'm going to add a layer for just this piece here. So we can turn that off and on. And we're going to duplicate this piece, Control D, add another layer, and put that in there like that. I'm going to call this back piece, in case we make a mistake on this one. Back 01, and this one we can take off. And then the rest of this stuff, I think we're just going to go ahead and instead of focusing on that, I'm going to put this in a layer by itself and just call this low poly A. Okay. And that way you can just focus on this back piece here. There we go. And this eventually will be high poly. Alright, so there's a lot of things we can get rid of. Let's get rid of this part. Delete that. We don't need these pieces. Delete. Delete. And delete. We don't need this part of the object. Delete. And so this is what we have left. Right. And this is the part that I think we can just kind of have fun with. You know, I'm going to take some artistic expression and add this in here. It looks like maybe a cord or a wire or something like that. Whatever. I'm going to just go ahead and do what I want. And I'll let you guys do whatever you want to do up there too as well. There's some pieces up here that need to be extruded that I could probably create myself separate pieces. So I'm just going to focus on these pieces right here. This piece does not look right. It looks like it's curled down. I'm just going to move and just create a piece that goes up like that, and then create the piece down here and create that separate piece down here that goes underneath. Okay, I think we'll be good there. Alright, so we'll create all those pieces here in momentarily. So I want to take this piece and duplicate it. I'm going to go ahead and delete by type history. And we're going to duplicate this. So this is in its own layer. So I'm going to go Control D and put it in this, and we'll call this top. Okay. Alright, so did that go in there? Yeah, that's in there. Alright, so in here we're going to go and we're going to break this up into two pieces now. This piece is separate, so we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and add that in there. Let's go to faces. I suppose we need to probably cut this because this is going to be hard to do right here. So I'm going to cut across here first, and then I'm going to cut diagonally, which is going to make a mess of this. So let's see, how would I do that? Cut here. Let's do this. Go ahead and go to Edge Loop tool. We'll make an edge loop right here, right where that is. Okay, and then we're going to push that up. I'm going to get rid of these pieces here that these aren't needed. Probably get rid of these two as well, just to get those plates in there, right? Okay, so I'm going to do that now. So don't waste any time. So my face is right here. Let's find out where that goes. Okay, that's the back. I think I want to keep that. Get rid of these. Alright, that's good. Get rid of that one too as well. So the next thing we're going to do is probably get rid of these two because these are going to be all extruded in anyway. Alright, so this is what we're left with the shell. Again, this is just the back piece will be part of the detail, and the top will be part of the detail as well. So we're just gonna, I guess we're just gonna focus on this part right here, these three pieces right here for now. So I'm gonna go ahead and extrude, not extrude, but extract all these pieces up here. So that will be extracted. Edit mesh, extract, and then we're gonna extract these pieces. Actually, let's take a look and see what we do need to extract here. This part, we need to break this piece up. Okay, so let's do, so these pieces need to be extracted for sure. Okay, I think that's right. Okay. So I'm going to do an extraction there. If we make a mistake, we can always put these back together. And then I'm going to make an, whoops. I'm going to make an extraction back again. Let me get back. Made a mistake here. If that happens, just go to panels, perspective. There we go. Back where we were. So there's our object there. Let's go ahead and in object mode. So we got those broken apart. And let's break the part back. Faces. Go to extract. There we go. So we extracted those. Go back to object mode. You can see that we've got these parts extracted. Alright, so I'm going to basically isolate select this one, Control 1. And I'm going to go back Control 1 and make sure I select this guy too as well. So get the background as well. Control 1 and Control 1. There we go. So now we're just concentrating on this piece right here. So basically I'm going to cut through, and it's going to cut all the way through, which is going to be weird. But if I cut through, I can get rid of that vertex or that edge. So that's easy enough to do. So go into multi-cut and just kind of hold outside and just cut through all the way through, right? That's all we're going to do, cut all the way through. And hit the Q key, and we're going to go in here and select this edge and this edge if I can. No, I need to be in edge mode. There we go. Those two, and delete those. I'm going to go to Control. Well, I'll just do delete because, and then I've got to go to vertex mode and make sure I delete this vertex, delete, and this vertex, delete. So that creates that object there that I need to focus on. So that's easy enough. So I'm going to go in there with the faces and select these 3 faces, and I'm going to hold down the Shift key, go down to extract, and extract those. Right. So we use extract a lot, and there's the piece that we're left with. Okay. So we've got a circular object that goes from here to here. Okay. So what I can do with that is that's just going to be a hard piece to actually create. So maybe not as hard as I think. Let me think about this a minute. I could add edge loops here. Okay, this is kind of a weird piece right here. So let's go ahead and fix this first. Okay. To where I'm going to go in here to multi-cut and do a multi-cut from here to here. Okay. And that's good. Just go down here like this. Okay, now we're done with that. So let's hit the Q key and hit the Q key. Oh, it's still in there. There we go. So now we're good. So I'm gonna go to face mode, select the face, and delete that face. Okay. So we really don't need that anyway. You need to kind of create a circular area here. So I think I was making it harder than it really is. It's really not too hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, go to selection mode, and insert edge loops. So I'm going to insert edge loops right here, 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 here. Looks good. And maybe here. Just kind of keep it nice and straight. Keep them spaced, you know, relatively close. And then we'll just start moving these up. Okay. Now, what I want to do with these is I don't know if this is angled at all, and it is. This is angled. So we want to keep, if we move up, look what happens. It causes an issue right there. It pushes it in. So we have to move these vertices up along the normal. So I'm going to use this tool again, double click on this guy right here, and we want to go into edge mode and see how it says slide. Now when I look at this, it's sliding along that edge, see? Sliding along the edge. That is awesome. I love it. Okay? Slide along that edge. As long as you're going in the right direction, like if you're standing right in front of it, you can slide along that edge and it won't cause any problems. Now, if you were to do that just normally without the slide, what'll happen is that it's going to slide no matter what right now because I have it on. But turn it off and look what happens. Yeah, that's a problem. So you have to use the slide edge tool. So I don't mind doing that. Go ahead and get that on there again, just as long as I know that it was on. Go to the front view, and that's when the slide edge will work just fine for you. There you go. So I'm just going to follow that. Click on this, and slide will be used on all of them. We're going to check on it in just a little bit. Just kind of follow that edge right here. Here we go. Good so far. Excellent. Okay. There we go. It's not perfect, you know, but let's go ahead and slide that out. It's not really sliding. See, it wants to slide now. So we got to take it off. Take it off, take it off, take it off. Okay, move that over just a little bit, like that. There we go. And we'll move this down like that a little bit. Okay. And then we got this piece right here, which is kind of strange. That just comes back here. I think I'm gonna stop right here with this as a plate, right? It looks like it goes in the back a little bit. It's hard to tell what's happening back here. So I could put another edge loop around this and try to get something going on there. But I'm going to move these up just a little bit. Okay. And I probably should use the slide, right? So I'm going to use the slide edge tool on all of these. Okay. Just so. Wow, that didn't want to work that way. Okay, slide it up. There we go. I'm going to slide this one up a little bit to have a gap there. We really need to have a gap. And slide that edge a little bit. There we go. So we have a gap between the two here. There we go. Looks good. And that piece is pretty much done. We need to move that over. We need to move this over. That looks good. And what else do we need? This is a separate piece too, so I need to move that down. This down to here. There we go. So we just got a little piece right there. And this will be down. Again, if we want to follow along with this, and which we do. Okay, let's go ahead and follow this over. Let's get a little closer, get as close as we can. There we go. And get it as straight as you can. You have to be super careful. I don't think it'll let me do the slide all of them at once, will it? No, I don't think it will. So let's go back. And if I slide all of them together at once, I don't think it'll work. Yeah, it does some weird wonky stuff going on. So let me shift forward again. Nope, won't let me. So let's go back. There we go. So slide that back down and just kind of follow as straight a line as you possibly can. And I'll come back. I'm going to pause back again so you can see I made a better job. It's a better job than I had before, and move that down to slide and try to follow that line. Okay, so this piece right here just doesn't fit with what we're trying to do, so I'm going to select that, and I'm just going to extract it, right? So we're going to go edit mesh, extract, so that piece will be extracted as well. Okay, so again I'm going to select my background, if I can close that up. My background, there it is. And these are the pieces I'm going to work on right now. For some reason I'm not able to select my background anymore. Okay, Control 1. Get all those pieces in there. Yep, it still won't. So I'm going to go to Windows, Outliner. And here's my image plane. There it is. Now it's selected. Okay, so I'm going to basically just select the pieces that I really want to focus on, and not these right now. We'll work on those in a little bit. So I'm going to hold the shift key that, and then I'm going to do control 1 on that, and go to the front view, control 1 on this as well. There we go. Okay, great. Alright, so we got these pieces started, and I do want to go across this piece right here to create this piece. So hopefully this won't take very long. Again, you guys know how to do all these edge loops and whatnot. So I'm going to do that edge loop right here into my edge mode, hit the Q key, and click on that edge there, and do Control E, move that out. Okay, like that. And I'm not exactly sure what that piece is supposed to be, but I'm going to hit the Q key, go to vertex mode, and move that in like that. And hit the 3 key, and that'll supposedly give us a nice soft edge. There we go. Okay, so we've got that completely finished, and we need to, not much we can do here. Let's click on this guy right here, and just kind of, looks like I still have the slide going, so let's get that in the middle. And so let's just work on this one right here. And we've got this point, and we need to cut a piece out of here, and this is going to be a little harder to do, so let's slide that down. It won't let me, so I'm going to go double click on this and reset the tool and move that down. Okay, and move this down like that. And we need to move that down so we've got more, follows that kind of plate right here. We got that plate going on there. So I'm going to keep this. Let's go to object mode. Alright. Let's go to center on that one. We should center that one too as well. There we go. Okay, good. So now we're going to go in here and just add that detail that we need to add. Insert edge loop tool here so you can get that piece right there, and then we need to get this piece right here like that. Okay, so now we're going to create this piece right here. Right? That looks good. And whenever you delete a face, like delete faces, let's do that later. I made the mistake of deleting them right away. I think that was a mistake, honestly. So I'm not going to do that, make that mistake again. So I'm going to add all the edge loops that I think I'm going to need for this particular object again. Okay. Got the outside edge, the inside edge, outside edge, inside edge. Okay, anything else? Need that one too. And we need this edge here as well. And we need this one here as well. So it looks like we got a pretty good, so you can see what I've done here, just kind of added the edge loops. We go into face mode, and we're going to get rid of, go Control Z and hit the Q key, go into face mode. And we're going to get rid of these faces here, this one, and this one, and this one, this one. And so you can see how that works out pretty good. And then I'm going to click on this one and just do this last row here, and the rest is good. We got all those edge loops in there already, so we didn't have to worry too much about that. So that's what that piece looks like. There we go. That looks good. Okay, let's hit the 3 key on that one. That looks really good. Wireframe, yay. Alright, cool. Alright, so go back to 1 on that. Okay. Again, you can go to edge mode and make sure that you spread these out if you need to. We don't need to support an edge here except for right in through here. So I can control that, and I'm going to slide that edge over a little bit. And slide it like this, spread it out a little bit. Let's do this one too, and deselect everything here. Oh, come on. I gotta hold the control key. There we go. And hit the G key and you can slide edge over. There we go. And do the same thing with this one. So we're going to slide that edge over. But I'm going to deselect this all this stuff. There we go. Hit the G key and move it over again like that. So you can kind of spread that out. You're going to need to spread these out too, and even these, you know. So there's ways to, you know, finagle all this stuff. You need to keep it here, but as you go up, whoops, that's the exact opposite of what I wanted. Yeah, take these two, and then hit the G key and just spread that out, see? And then we're going to go ahead and select these guys and hit the G key and spread that out. So you can see how, you know how all that works. Okay. And you keep doing that until your piece is completed. Alright, so we're going to go to the edge mode and double click on the edge. I'm going to go ahead and Control E and move that over. That's what we've been usually doing with all this stuff. Okay. And move that just a little bit like that. And then Control E, and that's where I make a larger piece, right? And then we can always change that, of course. And Control E, make that a little smaller one. And Control E, and now we're going to move with the arrow, and then you fix the inside pieces, and then add an edge loop on the inside, just like we did with the other ones. We'll come back to that. Alright, now this one. Okay, same thing. Go to the front view and go ahead and delete by type history. Insert edge loop. We're going to do one here. And this gets a little tricky here. We're going to add one right here. Add one right here. And we're going to add one right here. Okay, and we've already added one here. We're going to have to add one right here too as well. There we go. To help with that edge, and we're going to add an edge here and here. Okay. And we're going to add one right here. Go across. Right, so we've got a lot of edge loops over here that are going to be really tight together. Hit the 3 key. Everything's looking good. Go into auto mode here. Let's go to object mode and see what we've got with this. Okay, let's hit the 3 key a minute. Let's make sure that's nice and round, which it is not. So what I'm going to do, these guys, this row right here, and just kind of finesse it so it feels a little more round. Okay, alright, I'm going to hit the 1 key again. We need to add an edge loop on either side of this so it will stay flat. Stay sharp, I should say. Edge loop here, edge loop here. Alright, so that looks pretty good. We got, God knows we got enough edge loops over here. I don't think that's going to cause a problem, but it's kind of ugly looking. Alright, so there's our edge loops, and everything looks like it's flowing pretty good. And so what we'll do with this for the end, again, this is, we're just going through this pretty quickly. Hit the Q key. And we're going to go to the edge mode and double click on the edges, and it should go all the way around. And we're going to do the same exact thing. Control E. Again, the blue arrow, just a little bit at first. Control E and give a little more depth with the second one. Okay. You can see kind of where we're at with that. Doesn't have to be exact. Close enough. And then Control E again and move it one more time. And then Control E, and then we're going to do the blue arrow and go back in and fix the corners and hit the Q key. Fix all the corners by moving them and adding an edge loop. So I'll come back, and actually we're done with the video with this one, so we got 2 pieces done in one video, which is great. So finish those pieces up, and I'll see you in the next video.